Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning from wherever you are, and welcome to The World's Gone Insane. It's been a while since we've done one of these, but that's because I'm about as motivated to do one of these as a Republican is motivated to read a book. Now, on that said, I have Indian Jones with me. I am, of course, Creamy Sex Good, loving the fedora mister.
Thank you.
And a bit of a quiet week this week in terms of news, so me and Sam are going to spend the next 3 hours just talking about Alien Earth. And that's about it. Nothing else has happened at all. Okay, well, obviously that's a filthy lie, but we'll wait. Let the chat room fill up here while I hit people with some exclusive news. Exclusive, you will only hear it here. Zam has been conspiring to keep the tube strikes going in London because it helps him extend his income at a greater level. Zam, you scab, what do you have to say for yourself?
Oh, I'm swimming in it, baby. Like people have no choice but to take moi because there's no real buses that go to Heathrow Airport, for instance, as well as some of the other major airports like Luton, Stansted, Gatwick. They do offer work, but the abundance of work they're offering this week was fabuloso, and tons of work at Heathrow. I was dropping people to Timbuk fucking two, and I was making a bob or two as well, I may add. It was beautiful, and I'm loving my work because when you're making money, you love your work, and I'm fucking loving my work right now, and I can't wait to go back to it tomorrow.
So much so that he spent an entire £5 on a new hat. I mean, this guy is absolutely swimming in it. It's
Indian
ridiculous.
baby, Indian. You know how it is. I like a fucking bargain. I fucking bargain hunt like a motherfucker. Anyone who knows me, and I found this. This is almost like an authentic Indiana Jones hat. Maybe with just a shorter brim. But if I told somebody this was an Indiana Jones hat, they would fucking believe me. It looks like it's same color. It's a fedora. £5 of fucking Timu, baby. You can't go wrong. You can spend 50, 60, 100 quid on an authentic one, or you can get this, which does the job.
It's like I'm sitting in a room with Harrison Ford himself. I can't tell the difference, to be honest.
Yep.
And every
Belongs in a
week,
museum, baby.
every week as the stream goes on, you should just add like a new item. So next week have a khaki shirt, then a brown leather jacket, then a satchel.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I mean, just that time.
And
And
then
then
a little Chinese kid.
a little Chinese. Well, I'm not going to kink shame. That's up to you, mate, if that's what you want to
do. Fair enough.
Well, then you could do the ultimate Indian thing and then just bleach your skin and you make the full transformation.
I'll try and find a Shankara stone, something like that.
That's it, yeah. But I'm just going to wait for people to kind of roll in. So what I will do for now, before we get into it and we start seeing the comments in, I do want to talk Alien Earth. I wanted to start with Alien Earth. Only because when I watch other people's streams, they kind of kill a bit of time to let crowds kind of come in. So I'm absolutely loving this show. I think it's one of the best shows of the year for sure, and just all I've ever wanted from Aliens, basically. Just explore the lore and move beyond the bloody xenomorphs because they're irrelevant now. How about yourself?
I'm liking it, but there are times when I get pissed off with stupidity.
Oh, yeah, the incompetence thing to keep the story
like,
going. Yeah, that always winds me up.
And there are like some look, you can have oh, I forgot the term, but you could but regardless, like some things you do know doesn't make sense, and you're seeing it on screen. Like these hybrids, they're quite strong. So when you're seeing this kid fucking trying to handle a box of fucking tools and shit or components, trying to balance that in one hand and hold the door open, like, mate, that shouldn't be a fucking problem for you. You're super strong. Stuff like that. So those sort of things kind of bug me, and I'm really scared. I'm really scared of a goody two shoes xenomorph. I don't want that. Xenomorphs are not good character. They should never be a redeeming xenomorph. And if that happens, I will be pissed.
Fair enough. I mean, yeah, that would be weird if it happens. It'll be interesting if it happens. I'm always listen. They can't bollocks this up any more than ever. I mean, Prometheus was the death knell in this franchise, and that actually Aliens. Well, Aliens 3 and 4 were also god awful, but Prometheus was just the absolute death knell. So at this point in time, like I don't even care about the xenomorphs at all. Like they're irrelevant to the story, and this is the problem when you create a franchise that has one element to it, like Terminator did, like this does, like Predator does, because then you box yourself in. But the good thing now with what Hawley has done is he's introduced other elements. He's taken us on Earth. He's going to show how the corporations kind of function. And so literally, if they don't have xenomorphs in the next series, I don't think anyone's going to give a shit. I think everyone will be happy because even Hawley himself was like, look, what more can you do with the xenomorphs? They, the egg comes down, it pops up, it lays its thing, alien pops out, people fight the alien. Like he literally, the way he's described it is like, I'm not just going to do the bloody xenomorph thing. Like, I mean, Romulus was literally just the first two aliens combined, like absolute rubbish. So, and the Predator, we've got a Predator film coming out soon, and that's good because that explores the Predator lore. And I always think that that's where everything should go once it's established, because you can't just rinse repeat. It just gets tedious. And hello, Mr. System, and hello, Vance. Welcome.
Yeah, Indian Jones loves snakes. Yeah, I'm the one who likes the snakes.
Mr. System,
for sure.
Don't worry, System. You ain't missed. We ain't done like World's Gone Insane for a while.
Look, I find the eyeball alien to be fascinating. I love the fact that those fly aliens are pretty cool because they eat metal and stuff. So now the synths and the hybrids have got something to be scared of.
Yeah.
Because even though the xenomorphs are willing to attack a synth, they might not necessarily die from it. But if they come across an alien that will happily eat you, you could die from it. So that's all interesting. I still want a face hugger to jump onto a synth face and impregnate a synth. I know the law has kind of made it that's not really possible, but give the synth some body heat or whatever. Let the alien face hugger jump on it, and I want to see what happens.
I get what you mean, but it's not going to work because they can't sense them. They're not biological.
I'm just saying, make it work. It's fucking, it's fiction. Make it fucking work. You know what I mean?
That's too much fiction. I can't handle it. No,
yeah, I like the idea with robotic components coming out and shit like that. Fucking Termomorph. You know what I mean? Or something like that.
But it's got nothing to feed off of. That's the thing.
I don't know, but I don't know. Like I'm just saying, like with the head the big weight, it would be like Robomorph because you got 10 seconds to comply or some shit like that. You know what I mean?
Comes out like X209.
Yeah, exactly. So
hey, you know what? I'm not against that idea. Just go with it, baby. Just go with it.
And by the way, there's lots of good stuff out at the moment. I've been watching a series called The City Is Ours. It's a Scouse-based gangster drama on BBC iPlayer, which was all right. But the problem with the BBC is that they have to make things so fucking melodramatic. Everything they do is like there's a fat layer of fucking melodrama.
Yeah,
and they do it, and that's because they're the BBC. So because they're not beholden to advertisers, they say, "Hey, we can make things original and unique. Let's melodrama it." You know what I mean? And it's a gangster drama. Like, it doesn't need the fucking melodrama. You know what I mean?
It just needs pew pew and die.
It's trying to be Shakespearean to a degree, and don't get me wrong, Shakespearean can work if you do it right. But then that melodrama, just like, oh, you know what? We don't need that. It just. It feels less gangstery now, and it feels more like Brookside. You know what I mean? So,
hey mate, I'll fucking shoot you if you don't give me money, you fucking prick.
And I'm going to spoil it for you. Don't mind me spoiling something?
No, I'm not going to watch it. I don't watch the BBC.
Sean Bean's in it, and he dies in the second episode.
Dude, spoilers.
You know now that Sean Bean is definitely, he's definitely like, okay, this is who I am now. somebody who doesn't stay in the show for too long, I'm going to embrace it. You know what I mean? So
I mean, listen, I'm not joking when I say Sean Bean can make millions just showing up in a film for 5 minutes to get killed. Like in every
yes,
film, just show up, die. Here's £1,000,000. Hey, nerd.
yeah,
Or block
exactly. So,
Jenny from the
yeah,
block.
and this is like the easiest paycheck he can ever fucking make.
Yeah,
He's like he's an A-list actor, and he's just known for getting killed off and all of that. So yeah, I would love to see more of this. So
yeah,
yeah,
too
but
right.
that, and also we've been watching Peacemaker. I know you're not a fan of that. I'll be watching
Nope.
that tomorrow. Hopefully, doing a review of that with Cheeto. That's pretty interesting, and there's other stuff I'm watching. Oh yeah, obviously Star Trek. Star Trek is finished, and Star Trek: Strange New Worlds is fucking awful. It's not the Star Trek we know, Jim. It's
Oh, was it really bad? Has it been
it's
really bad?
bubble. Like Star Trek has always been about thought-provoking episodes. You know what I mean? With and sorry, I just made...
I'm not gonna put that on, but yeah.
yeah. Star Trek has always been about thought-provoking episodes, really clever diplomatic episodes or moralistic episodes, but we're just getting a lot of bubblegum now and cheap humor and stuff like that in like meshing things like let's make some of the main crew into Vulcans and let's have a laugh with that. Like it's just bollocks,
Oh
and
my. Right, I told you,
you know,
man, Kurtzman. You guys are riding Kurtzman's dick because he gave you one or two good little bits. But come on, man, his whole
no,
universe
Kurtz,
is heinous.
Kurtzman Kurtzman gave us Lower Decks, which is almost flawless, and Lower Decks is superb. It's genius actually. Lower Decks, because it's a very good comedy animated cartoon that is also Star Trek. It is genuinely Star Trek, which makes it really enjoyable to watch as well. But
Right,
it
so
hasn't
that means
forgotten.
that means Kurtzman's only involved by name then, if it's genuine Star Trek.
It feels like, because it reminds you that you are watching Star Trek, regardless of how funny and crazy and smart at times these episodes are. And it's only done in 22 minutes. It really is like levels of South Park intelligence at times, when it comes to the writing and the deliveries and the overall package and everything. It's genius at times. But nearly everything else they've given us, like Discovery improved as it went along, and it got its Star Trek roots after trying to be Game of Thrones. But Strange New Worlds has devolved. It started off really well, really was Star Trek, the Star Trek we remembered, and thinking, wow, this is going to be a great ride. We're going to get, but then it tried to be more serialized once again. And because of that, it kind of put itself into a stranglehold, but it was serialized. But then again, it also gave us too many comedy episodes. Like one or two is okay, but there was an abundance of them, a musical episode. I mean, there was one really clever episode where Spock kind of like was injured, and these mysterious aliens, brought him back from the brink of death. But by doing so, they made him fully human because he's half human, half Vulcan. And honestly, that was a good episode because it really showed the talent of Ethan Peck as an actor, because he played Spock, but he was fully human now. He wasn't half Vulcan, and that was okay. I didn't mind that. But then they just went too much with the comedy episodes, with the musical episodes, and they did like an episode where there's one guy, he's like we see he's like filming for the news or some shit like that, and we're seeing Enterprise from the perspective of like news cameras. And next month we already know we're getting an episode where the Enterprise crew turns into puppets, like Jim Henson style Muppet puppets. Like what the fuck? It's just gimmick after gimmick after gimmick.
Yeah,
And
that's just like desperation. That is.
it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Like you've got to get back to your roots, and they're doing all this shit. And if anything, they're trying to be a bit Marvel-y. They're trying to be a bit like Marvel. And this is not Marvel. This is not Star Wars. I mean, like the last episode was Stargate. They were copying Star fucking Gate. Like,
Jeez.
no, this is Star Trek.
Oh,
I
man.
can understand you
Well,
may
the
be
good news
taking a
is,
sprinkle
look,
here and there, but yeah.
the good news is, this is the end of the Paramount era. You're gonna end. You're ending. You're going into the Sundance. Is it? Oh, fuck, what are they called? Skydance era. So hopefully, new producer, because Kurtzman's gone. So new producer, new direction, and see where it goes from there. They can abandon all this stupid shit. Because I just I can't with it. I hate the fucking Kurtzman era.
No,
It does me.
you didn't like poop. Oh come on, it wasn't poops and semen jokes. It was clever, man. Like yeah, I think I liked it. I liked it. I because it still had the spirit of Star Trek within its humor, which is what made it so genius for me. But Strange New Worlds is trying to be zany. You know, it's a bit too. It's just not Star Trek enough. Yeah.
Yeah. Only Murders in the Building started as well this week. They dropped 3 episodes.
Oh, really? I'll go get on that.
Yeah. So far, so good. I've watched the first 2 episodes. I don't want to binge it. So when I'm eating, I've got something to kind of watch. But yeah, so good. So far, so good.
I'll do a season review.
The previous series, I did not like series 4 at all. I really hated it. It was just absolute awful. But I haven't given up on the show because I just love the characters. I think the characters are great.
I'm done with red herrings. Like I want there to be everyone is a possible suspect. You know,
yeah, don't mate. This is already going down that route. Unfortunately, you're not going to get an end to red herrings. And episode 2 is a flashback episode as well, which was actually a lot more fun than I thought. But the actor they got to play the young version of the person that died. I don't want to spoil it for anyone.
Yeah,
terrible actor, absolutely terrible. But other than that, yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. I think it's just one of those where I just enjoy the actors, even if there weren't any murders, and you just carry on with their life.
What did you think? What did you think of Thursday Murder Club?
It was okay. It shouldn't have had Chris Columbus do it. He needed a British director. You know what I mean?
Agree.
But
yeah.
It was okay. Like I give it a 6 out of 10. Nothing special. I do want to see more though, but with a different director.
I thought our main cast was fantastic.
Yeah.
But I did feel a bit sorry for Ben. Why I keep thinking Ben Kingsley? It's not Ben Kingsley. Ben King. I felt he was underutilized.
Was very underutilized, yeah.
And like you got a terrific cast, and we're not just the main cast, the supporting cast. Some of the best of British in there. You got the dude from fucking Lucifer and all of that shit. You really got some really good. Naomi Aki is Jeff Bell. Like you got some, David Tennant. Like you got some really good fucking actors in there, and I just didn't think the story. I mean, like it all made sense, but it kind of wrapped up really quickly. Like everything wrapped up, and I didn't. I never necessarily appreciate that to either. Welcome, Donkey. But other than that, it was okay. I like a good whodunit. That's why I like the Hercule Poirot ones and stuff like that. They're my favorites. And by the way, there's gonna be a new Glass Onion Knives Out movie.
Yeah,
coming
I saw the trailer. That it's not for me. But yeah, the other people will want to watch another stupid Ryan Johnson film, go right ahead.
Well, my problem is that they made Chris Evans the killer in the first one, and it was pretty obvious. And Edward Norton was the killer in the second one, which is also pretty obvious. I don't want it to be too fucking obvious who the fucking killer is. You know what I mean? It just it was frustrating. You made it the most obvious fucking people. You made it Chris Evans and Edward Norton. These are the most.
Both films are just dog shit bubblegum rubbish. So it makes no fucking difference. Don't expect anything different from the other one that's coming up. I looked at the trailer and it's pretty much the same old shit. Oh, look at this! I'm still getting abused on Twitter. Fantastic.
I'm getting abused on Facebook. Like these guys are like, even what's his face, Rick B. He's pissed off at me. No, this is I make one comment, on Charlie Kirk, and and all of a sudden he goes, "This is why I left the left." I mean, he's openly admitting it now. Yeah, this is like, oh, because of me, the individual. Yeah, not there's a whole
Never
bunch
on.
of fucking there's a whole bunch of fucking lefties who would be who are actually in sorrow and in mourning over Charlie fucking Kirk. Can't understand why the guy's a fucking dickhead. Yeah, and I think we're going on to Charlie Kirk right now. Yeah, and
Might as well.
yeah, and look, I will never mourn over that guy ever. Yes, he was killed, and no one should be doing that. I get it. I am part of that particular bandwagon, but now he's dead. Fuck him. I don't care. He was a bad guy. Just because he's dead doesn't make it turn him into a saint. He was a terrible human being, and I'm not mourning over his death, not whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, look, in an ideal world, we wouldn't advocate for anyone dying, and I don't advocate for what happened to Charlie Kirk, but it happened. And look, he's in his own words, empathy is weakness. So don't expect any empathy from us. It is what it is. Like when the dust settled and you start to think about it, you're like, he was only 31, father of two kids, and now we'll get into more of that later. But those two elements alone, you're like, and then you start thinking about that, and you're just like, yeah, but cunt in me is like his daughters aren't gonna grow up with a person that's got such horrible misogynistic views in their life, but it's still their daddy, it's still someone they loved, and that sucks. But the guy deserves no sympathy. He deserves no sympathy. He's defended gun rights. He's defended mass shootings. He's saying, hey, it's it it's worth a few deaths if it means protecting the Second Amendment. He's asked for people that get abortions to be stoned to death.
Gays
He's
to be stoned to death.
gays to be stoned
Gays.
to death as well. He's a massive white supremacist as well. Even ironically, though, he doesn't want to associate himself with Nick Fuentes, even though he's just an openly massive white supremacist. He's pro-Israel, all this kind of stuff. It's just not like you look at his history and
Pro-Zionist. Let's be.
pro-Zionist and Turning
Yeah.
Point USA, which is his baby. He founded this. Has poisoned the minds of so many young people. It's bled into the UK as well. It's funding and fueling anti-abortion groups as well, even here in the UK. So this is not a good group of people. He was not a good person. It's tragic that he passed away, but the world is better off without someone like him and his vitriol in it. It is what it is. Now, the reaction to his shooting was immediately, it's the left, it's trans, it's Antifa. We're going to war with the left. This is war. Like the right wing are so fucking over dramatic and so theatrical because they've got nothing really going for them. And they got this hard on fetish for being the victims that not only are they saying we're going to war, we're going to crush the left, we're going to go after the left, even President Trump saying all this shit, they're also clearly scared because they think, oh my God, the left are going to kill us. Holy crap. You could literally see them shitting their pants. And then today they catch the suspects. And by all evidence gathered so far, the guy's a groiper. And that is somebody that's within the sphere and the groupie of Nick Fuentes, a Nazi. And now I'm getting abused on Twitter because they're not accepting the fact. They're like, well, why did he write, this bullet, catch this bullet fascist or whatever it was that he wrote? I'm like, because people like Trump, people like Nick Fuentes consistently call anyone they disagree with a fascist or a liberal, and they always call the left fascists. And Nick Fuentes just didn't see Turning Point and Charlie Kirk as right-wing enough. He was like, oh, these are fake conservatives, these are fascists and all this kind of stuff. Really poisoned the mind. All the other stuff written on the bullets as well that they found on the suspect. Again, this could be bollocks. It could,
Yeah.
it could be complete bollocks. Everything's still up in the air. But the other stuff they found is stuff that's really associated with shit that's on like 4chan and like, far right discords and all this kind of stuff. All right. And they're like, well, what about the Bella Ciao, which is the anti-fascist song? I'm like, that song is repeatedly used, so that term is repeatedly used by groypers to taunt the left. Even I've seen it. I've had it done to me on Twitter and all this kind of stuff. And it's when I saw that I was just like, oh, this guy's a Nazi. And then bang, straight away. Because when I heard the first one about catch this fascist, I was like, all right, grew up in a conservative family, didn't want to be conservative, went to the left. Now, the other thing is, what if it was a lefty? Well, here's the thing. If that guy was a lefty, his actions are the result of decades of America and its gun culture and how it reacts to things it doesn't like. So when you're powerless and you're frustrated, you live in a country where you have a gun. Well, a gun doesn't make you powerless in America, even though the vast majority of victims are powerless. Okay? School children and all this kind of shit. So even if it was a lefty, it's a lefty doing what the right wing have been doing for decades. He's just embodied within that American gun culture. It's as simple as that. So you can't get angry at something that you fostered, having it thrown back at you. So yeah, your thoughts there?
Oh, you said quite a lot there. I did actually have a thought, but it just slipped my it did just slip my mind. You know, regarding the person who shot him, I'm not actually surprised. It was this particular person. It always seems to be some sort of like crazy incel gun nut, tinfoil hat wearing motherfucker.
Yeah.
And so, actually, I did remember what I wanted to say. Right wing media and people like Jesse Waters and Alex Jones and all of these guys, they are stoking the flames right now. They are saying, the left want to kill us. Liberals, progressives, lefties, they want to come after us. They're the violent ones. They're trying to attack us and all of this. And with all the rhetoric that's coming out from them saying we need to stop them, I want to ask these guys who are using all this coded language, exactly what do you want to happen? What are you actually trying to say here without the coded language? Because it sounds to me that you want a civil war. And the funny thing is Trump obviously campaigned on not having any foreign wars, even though that's not the case. He wants to go to war with Venezuela, for instance.
Well, he murdered 10 Venezuelans on a boat just the other day.
And he obviously attacked Iraq as well.
Yeah.
And what happened in Qatar could also be blamed on America. But regardless of all of that, what's happening though is that Americans they really want a repeat of a fucking civil war. They want that to happen, and it seems to me that all these right-wing influencers who feel like they could point the finger, whether it be politicians or people in the news or social media, are trying to make violence happen against progressive and liberals, and I'm worried about anything they consider to be leftist or liberal. I mean, right now there was this black university that's being attacked because of Charlie Kirk. It had nothing to do with him. This was in fucking Utah in a university. You know what I mean? Finding a black person there is easier than fucking playing a game of Where's fucking Waldo. So I'm not happy with the rhetoric that's happening right now from the right, because they really are trying to cause violence against left wingers in any capacity. And they might go after trans people, they might have to go gay people or black people, or basically non-white people. That's really what's happening, and Trump is also encouraging that as well, and that's what's really worrying me. That's what's really pissing me off now. And like I said, they're using coded language, and they're not, but they're basically in that coded language. They're basically telling they're dickhead fucking idiots who fucking worship and watch these motherfuckers go out and attack or maybe even kill the opposition.
Yeah, because they would never do it. They'd never do it themselves. They want to incite the wars, but they cower. Like I guarantee you, after what's happened to Charlie Kirk, all of these lot are shitting their pants. They're shitting their pants. They're like, oh shit. And the fact that it's not
It's Luigi
Mossad
all over again.
or any special groups or anything like that, they're going to be like, fuck me, our own are killing us. You know what I mean? So, despite what they're telling you on camera, behind the scenes, they are probably shitting their pants because it's their own killing them. And it's always their own. The guy that tried to shoot Trump was a bloody Republican. You know what I mean? The guy that tried to
Well, I
blood
thought
him up was
that's
also a
an inside job.
Republican. You know, the guy that shot the Democrat last week or the week before, whenever, or last month, was a fucking right winger. You know what I mean?
Luigi, the guy Luigi is right wing, by the way. The guy who
Luigi
shot,
comes from a
yeah,
MAGA family. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
he's rich as fuck. Lost all his money because of health insurance. Yeah,
Yeah.
people like him are not Democrats. They're Republicans. He went to an Ivy League school and all of that shit. Lost it all because of health insurance and killed that fucking health insurance CEO. You know, the right.
Yeah. Now, that health
Yeah.
insurance CEO deserved it. Okay. Because why? Because his policies
He
and
killed
his
more people than
actions
Luigi did.
have caused the deaths of hundreds of thousands of people. Hundreds of thousands. And has that company changed? No, not at all. There were literally doctors weeks after the whole thing happened complaining that that insurance company, I forgot what they were called, that insurance company was basically saying, no, you can't do this surgery. No, you have to limit your anesthesia. No, you can't. We're not paying for this. You can't do that. And they're just like that. They're the ones that are dictating. They always say, oh, the government's going to tell you can't do this and you can't do that. But you've got insurance companies literally calling up doctors saying, no, we're not going to fund this. You can't do this surgery because it's cost too much. We're not going to pay for it and all this kind of shit. So nothing's changed. Nothing's changed. And yeah, but like Trump was very quick when they found out that the guy was basically a right winger as well, from a MAGA family, gun loving family, taught to shoot and hunt and fish from a very young age. Trump was very quiet and he quickly changed the subject. And he's just saying, well, there's also crazy people on the far right as well, and we have to look into that and all this kind of shit. So the rhetoric has changed from Trump, and hopefully the monkeys will all fall in order and just like be like, quick, deflect, do something else. But the only thing I do worry about is like in terms of like retaliation. So despite the fact that it was a right winger that killed another right winger, they're going to go after left wingers, even though again we're not the perpetrators of violence. So people when I was watching live Hassan's thing, he's just like, well, fucking hell, you know what I mean? Because obviously
You'll be
Hassan,
targeted, yeah.
he was like, I could be a target now. We could all be targets.
All of them, all the
them.
left wing influencers right now. Anyone you can think of, people you watch, would be the Young Turks, and I know people call them right, but they're still left wing.
Yeah,
I mean, no, I mean
only
they are
left wing
considered.
on Gaza. That's it. They're only left wing on Gaza.
No, but they are considered to be lefties still by by the opposition, by right wingers.
Oh, by right wingers, yeah, but not by fucking left wingers.
Yeah, I know. But the point is,
I get what you mean. Yeah, I get what you mean.
Hassan, look, I'm no fan of David Pakman. Yeah, but he'll be a target. Midas Touch, Ring of Fire, all of these guys. Carl Kalinske, they're targets now, unfortunately. And
this report, all of those kind of guys. Majority Report, your Sam Cedars, all this kind of shit. All they could be targets. All of them. Even Zoran Mandani can now be a fucking target, even though he's not like a streamer, but as a mayor, but he could also be seen as a point of retaliation. You know what I mean? We've always dealt with right-wing political violence. You know what I mean? And I keep saying this to people, like, again, and I've had massive arguments. I've lost 2 friends on Facebook who I know in real life, and because I'm petty, I've blocked them on my phone as well, because I'm like, okay, you're gonna unfriend me just because I cheered the death of Charlie Kirk. Yeah, okay.
Who are they? Are you able to tell me?
Oh, you don't know them. You don't know them. So it's not.
Okay.
Yeah, they're from my own friends from like real life I've known for years.
Yeah.
look, we're still going to be friends outside of social media. But they were like, one of them. He messaged me and he's like, "What the fuck? What's wrong with you?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm not going to explain it to you because you're a right wing simpleton. I love you, but I said you're really dumb. So I'm not going to explain to you why I said what I said." But the things that keep pissing me off is like people like uh, Gary who are like, violence is not the answer. I'm like, violence is the answer. We don't want to be the ones to do the violence, but left wing violence is always in retaliation to right wing violence. That hence the rise of communism against the right wing capitalists within Russia and China and Imperial Japan and all this kind of shit. And also, right wing violence, capitalist violence, imperial violence has been very successful. Okay, violence is the answer because it works for the capitalists. Now, my family, I keep saying to people, when your family's been a victim of imperialism and capitalism, you'll understand why violence does work. It doesn't work to our benefit, it works to our detriment, my camera. But the point is, it does fucking work, unfortunately, because that is how capitalism has been able to spread around the world through violent imperialistic measures. And while some people will be like, "Oh yeah, but there's also the IMF and the World Bank and how they act and they, sanction and bully countries to kind of fall in line," they still bombed the shit out of those countries. In Greece, as soon as the Second World War ended, we had the Civil War. Why did we have the Civil War? Well, because communism was on the rise in Greece and very popular, and it wasn't tied to like Soviet communism. But of course, Churchill was like, "No, no, no, we're not having none of this." So British troops and they armed Nazi collaborators, they armed Nazis as well, and Greece went to civil war. In that civil war, a British sniper shot my granddad in the leg. He was never able to bend his knee again after that. After the civil war, a few years of peace, then the Americans installed the junta. So then we had the junta. Why? Because socialism was gathering momentum again in Greece. So we installed the junta, it crushed all the socialists. After the junta falls, Cyprus gets taken over by the Turks as well. So we come out of dealing with the Turks, we've had to deal with the British, the Americans, and all this kind of shit. That violence has torn our country apart and it's worked rather effectively. And now we have to deal with the fucking Germans and the banks. So it works. It works really, really effectively, either through policy or through the gun. So I don't want to hear people start sitting there saying violence doesn't work. When we're the ones, when our side becomes violent against the state, you'll see changes starting to be made.
I'm gonna bring up something.
I never want to go down that route, but I'm just saying it does work for them.
I'm going to bring up something regarding that. But first of all, when it comes to a Kirk dying, there's only one Kirk that died that I give a damn about. Rest in peace, James Tiberius Kirk. You were the Kirk that we needed. Anyway, gone too soon. Yeah.
I still can't believe that he's actually alive. Like, how old is he now? 94?
He's definitely in his 90s. I don't know, but whilst he was in his 90s, they sent him into space as well, which is amazing.
This guy is a 90-year-old man. He's a freak of nature, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart because I absolutely love him. Don't care who, people are like, he's an arsehole. I'm like, yeah, but he's a benign arsehole. He's an arsehole like he's a diva kind of arsehole.
Yeah. But he's not like evil, I get what you mean.
He's not evil. Yeah. If he was, he wouldn't have had so many prominent roles in comedy over the years. You know what I mean?
Just television and movies generally. The guy's done everything. Outside of Star Trek, he's got a massive biography of stuff. So Boston Legal, fucking TJ Hooker.
Love Boston Legal. Loved it. Him and James Spader. What great chemistry they had. For me, that and him as the big giant head in Third Rock from the Sun are two of my favorite roles of his. I
like his Star Trek send up in Airplane 2 as well, and so
yes,
like I said, he's done a lot of roles, So
Tech Wars,
he wrote them books.
What was the other one? The detective one that's really good.
I can't remember.
TJ Hooker. Hooker.
I mentioned TJ. I mentioned TJ Hooker.
Oh, you did. Yes, you did. I'm sorry. Yeah, that was really good. But he also hosted 911. Do you remember that?
I can't remember
It
that.
was on
But,
Sky One. We used to have
but
911. We had Michael Kirk do 999 over here. But
I want to know: have we got anything more to say about regarding Charlie Kirk?
not really.
No, like I said, I will never mourn this guy. I don't, I'm not I don't care that he's dead. And if anything, I'm more disgusted with what's happening at the White House. Like Vance has already mentioned, they flew his body back in Air Force Two. I mean, for fuck's sake, they put the half mast down, or half mast, and all of that. The president gave a national state of an address over this. This same day, a whole bunch of kids were shot at a school in Colorado.
Yeah.
Mass shootings in schools are becoming so common; they don't give a fuck anymore.
You don't even put it in the news.
This is like this. This was the bigger deal, which is absolutely crazy. Not kids being murdered on a regular basis.
Also, to add to that, this weird fucking parasocial relationship the West has with America also has to end. And I think it peaked after Charlie Kirk's passing, because it's been all over the fucking news in the UK. All right, this guy has fuck all to do with the UK apart from bringing in Turning Point UK, which is just cancer to us. But it's all over the news because whatever happens in America, the rest of the world must talk about it. And MEPs in the European Parliament, the right wingers, demanded 1 minute silence inside the European Parliament, and the centrists and the left wingers absolutely refused.
Influencer.
Yeah, for an influencer. And they were banging the desk saying, no, no, no. That they refused to have a 1 minute silence for Charlie Kirk. Like, this is not normal. Europe, this is not fucking normal. This guy is a benign, useless, fucking hateful American. What the fuck are we mourning his death for? Do they mourn the death of our fucking people? Did they fly the Queen at half-mast? Did they fucking have a day off for a mourning for her? No. What the fuck? This is just, it really annoys me. Like, when there's a hurricane in America, when there's a shooting in America, when there's something that every other country goes through, not mass shootings, but the other stuff, we don't know about it, what happens in the rest of the world, unless it's really, really bad or a British person is affected. But anything that happens in America, that's it. It's all over the fucking news. And it's not normal. Like, really, like, I think we've peaked here. Fucking members of European Parliament wanting to hold a 1 minute silence for a bloody, it's not even a politician.
Yeah, the right-wing fucking influencer.
Yeah. But I guarantee you, like, if that guy obviously wasn't offed by one of his own, he would have been running for president in the future. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So at least we're survived that. Yes, and then we had the 9/11 ceremony thing, and Trump was having a fucking mild stroke in the middle of it.
I do want to get on the stroke, but just a couple of things. There's I can't find it right now. Maybe The Rock pulled it down. I saw the tweet on social media, but not on. But it was from Twitter. But basically, The Rock was saying, "Oh, my condolences to Charlie Kirk and his family. He was a really great guy. Don't forget to watch The Smashing Machine coming out on September the 12th." he wrote that on a tweet. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, like, brilliant. Yeah, I don't know if he was actually taking the piss out of Charlie Kirk, or if he was genuinely.
No, he's done that before. He's done that before. I can't remember if it was for the Queen or someone else, where he said my condolences for someone, and then just plugged.
And then I saw a lot of memes regarding Charlie Kirk. Obviously, there's loads and loads of memes, but this one, let me pull it up. It's just a simple meme, nothing too extravagant, just a handful of words. But this is my favorite because this is the one that made me spit my drink out. At least Charlie Kirk would be happy to know it was a qualified white man and not a GI hire.
Oh,
Yeah.
brilliant.
Yeah, so there you go. I'm going to get onto the stroke into a second, but what I want to go on, because you were talking about revolution and violence and stuff, and that brings me beautifully onto a little country called Nepal. Yeah, because
Oh, yeah.
Nepal. Have you seen the news on Nepal?
Of course, yeah.
Oh, it's glorious! It's
Beautiful.
glorious.
What we should do
Yeah,
over here.
yeah. We're too fucking lazy over here, man.
The English
Yeah,
are pushovers, mate. Fucking
we're
push.
very similar. We're too similar to the fucking Yanks. We've become fat cunts eating our McDonald's and can't do shit.
Classified
Yeah,
as
I mean,
fuck. Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
yeah, But basically, what's happening in Nepal is that the governments there have come down on Gen Z a little bit too hard, because for a start they have a 19%, almost 20% unemployment rate, which is really fucking bad. That's 1/5
That's
of the
massive. Yeah.
of the population of that can't get a job. Yeah, and then when it comes to what their tax money is going to, it's going towards lavish treats for the politicians' children. They're getting they're having amazing educations abroad. They're getting luxury vehicles, jewelry, clothes, lavish parties, all of that. That's where all the tax money is going from Nepal. Is going on to the kids of the politicians. And on top of that, because people are voicing their anger, the government then says, fuck it, we're going to ban all social media, all of it. You know what I mean? TikTok, Twitter, the lot. That's pushing people to the edge, yeah. Because as much as people's lives are really shit, and Carl Kolinsky mentioned this, people still need something. Would it be drugs, alcohol, social media, video games, whatever? They need something to vent themselves a little bit. And if you take it all away, then the only people they can vent themselves on is you. And what's happening in Nepal right now is crazy. I'm gonna bring up YouTube here, and we'll just pick up. Yeah, here we go. Let's try this one.
Welcome back. The majestic peak of Mount Everest is what often comes to mind.
Flagged for this one.
Welcome back. The majestic.
You think so?
Well, it's ABC News, so it's owned by Disney.
Fuck. Okay. How about the Indian? No, that's 2 days ago. I want something. AFP News. Let's try this one. Will that one do?
Try that one. Yeah.
This was the moment Nepal reached breaking point. Angry protesters in Kathmandu set fire to government buildings.
Look at that.
The Supreme Court and the former Prime Minister's residence. The unrest was initially sparked by a ban on social media, but morphed into something bigger, with at least 19 people killed as police sought to crush the protests. Even the resignation of the Prime Minister failed to quell the anger.
The Prime Minister resigned.
From government corruption to a lack of job opportunities. Let's take a closer look at what brought us to this point.
A lot of people expressed the sentiment that, yes, perhaps this needed to happen.
Pranay Rea is a Nepal-based journalist. He points to how frustrated young people have become with the elderly elites. People aged between 15 to 40 make up nearly 43% of Nepal's population.
Perhaps there needed to be an extreme kind of protest that would change the very face of Nepal. Because unless that happened, the old guard, the old politicians, the old leaders would find a way to keep holding on to power.
Nepal ranks 107 out of 180 countries in Transparency International's annual corruption index. Jesus. Before the social media ban was imposed, there had been a growing online anti-corruption movement, with videos highlighting the lifestyles of so-called Nepo babies, the children of politicians.
Yeah.
अनि पुरा जो निस्किरहेछ नि सबै कुराहरु सोशल मिडियामा निस्किन्छ क्या एउटा न एउटा मान्छेले समाउँछ अनि त्यो चीज दुनियाले देख्छ अनि त्यो दुनियाले आवाज उठाउँछ त्यो चाहिँ नउठाओस् भनेर सायद सोशल मिडिया बन्द गरेको होला
20 दशक भन्दा बेसी हो करप्सन हामी एभ्री मान्छेको गल्लीमा आज फ्रस्ट्रेसन छ क्या स्ट्रेस छ मान्छेले एभ्री आफ्नो गल्लीबाट घरबाट यति तनाव लिएर आएको छ 2 दशकभन्दा बेसी भयो र यो चोरहरूले हामीलाई बारम्बार यति दुःख दिएको छ यो त एउटा सानो झिल्को मात्र हो जुन सोसियल मिडियाको कुराले गर्दा आयो
A lot of it also boils down to jobs. The World Bank says 82% of Nepal's workforce is in informal employment. More than a fifth of people aged 15 to 24 are unemployed, according to the World Bank, with GDP per capita just $1,447 US. Remittances are crucial for the economy, equaling a third of GDP.
So there was this kind of acknowledgement that, yes, we needed a radical change, but perhaps the cost was a little too high.
With order now restored and soldiers patrolling the streets, it's not clear who will fill the political void. But the Himalayan nation has seen more than a dozen governments since it became a republic in 2008.
The important thing right now is to find a way to come together for Gen Z and this whole movement to come together and decide on a way forward that is acceptable to them, and not allow their movement to be hijacked by opportunists who are just waiting in the shadows for that moment.
Yeah. And don't let the fucking Americans dictate your policy, because they're going to be right in there with their little private equity firms and little hedge funds trying to buy up everything in the pot, which is what they were doing in the first place. And what's kind of, this is where this political system is all over the world, unfortunately. Wherever there is destabilization, it's because of neoliberal policies. Indonesia has the same shit's happened in Indonesia. There were riots because of the exact same thing. MPs were paying themselves like stupid amounts of money, giving like bonuses to themselves. They're just basically stealing from the state, corruption, nepotism, all this kind of shit. The same thing's happening here. The same thing's happening in the States. The only difference is over there, they've just fucking had enough. And they're like, you know what? We're just going to burn down Parliament. And I've said it once. I'll say it 1,000 times. I say it on TikTok all the time. Violence against the state is perfectly acceptable when the state is violent against you. Now, I'm not talking about violence such as the state's coming out, beating you up randomly, dragging you out from your house. Oh, well, I mean, that's really what they do in America. But I'm talking about the British state. Here, they put policies forward that cause the death of thousands of people. Austerity in this country and bad COVID policies has been responsible for over 500,000 deaths in this country. The cuts to disability was so bad in its first year alone, it caused 10,000 deaths, that the Tory government declared it as a state secret so it can never be exposed. That's how bad it is. And so this is the state imposing policies that are killing its people. Now, you tell me that violence is not the answer. When you have things like that, if you go out into the streets and you drag people doing these policies again, you'll start to see results. But unfortunately, we're such pushovers in this country that nobody dares not do it. And it's getting to the point now where, like, you can't even support Palestine in this country. You're getting arrested for supporting Palestine.
Blind people are getting arrested. Elderly people.
Blind, disabled, elderly people are getting arrested for showing solidarity with Palestine action. But people are also getting arrested for just saying, we oppose the genocide, we support Palestine. And they're just minting it to say, because if you say, I support Palestine action, they can say, well, you are supporting a prescribed terrorist organization, we're going to arrest you. But they can twist that, and they've twisted that already, just saying, oh, you know, I support Palestine. And they'll arrest you just for saying that. Like, we've got to the point here, we have to understand our government is completely owned by Israel. It's completely owned by the Israeli lobby. This isn't some, you know, anti-Semitic conspiracy. The evidence is there. You have the Board of Deputies, the Labour Friends of Israel. They have literally...
Oh, the fact that we're getting arrested, you know, the fact that people are getting arrested for speaking up for Palestine is enough for people to say yes, you know. So, but look, just sticking with Nepal for a second. They were throwing politicians naked into the river. You know, some of the stories I was looking at. That's what they were doing. And the moment people were revolting, the government immediately turned around the social media ban. Oh, you're pissed off social media being banned? Okay, we're unbanning it, and just like that, they unbanned it. They can change it. They can change certain things with a fucking snap of fingers. They really can. Yeah, but it was too late by then. People are upset, and you look at the country now. And the funny thing is that country used to be a monarchy before it was a republic.
Yeah.
And what happened with the monarchy is exactly what happened under the prime minister or president rule. And the person who came in to then to take over the country as a republic started embezzling money himself. He did exactly what the monarch was doing. He became a monarch himself. They never fucking learn. They get greedy in their positions of power. And whoever takes on this job right now, I mean, they have to be somebody who won't feel like they're going to be corrupted. I mean, you become a politician, you're going to have a good life. You really are. You're going to, you're going to have job security. You're going to have a roof over your head. You're going to have good healthcare. All of these fucking things. Just don't get fucking greedy, man. You know what I mean? You'll be and take care of the people who voted you in. You really need to have that mindset if you want to be a fucking politician. But too often people are opportunists. But good luck to Nepal, whatever they do. I wish we were like them. But we will never. What we do in this country is that we blame refugees for our fucking problems. We blame in people coming into the country looking for work. I saw a clip in Belfast, and I expected better from the Northern Irish. But in Belfast, there was these delivery drivers. These guys are working. They've got a job. What's your problem with them? They're immigrants, but they're delivery drivers, and they're fucking picking on them. It's just a bully mentality. Countries like us, because we come from a background of colonialism, we just know how to bully. We don't know how to fucking, be freedom fighters, because we're not a freedom fighting nation.
No.
We're the type of people.
We're a take-all nation. We just want everything, and we want to give nothing back.
We colonize,
Yeah.
So
I say
and,
we,
and at the same time, like,
I'm not of here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, likewise. And I told like all the people who are going after refugees, like, don't get pissed off with the people who are coming here looking for work. Get pissed off with maybe organizations and businesses who are willing to give refugees work. But if they're not willing to give you work, but they're willing to give them work, it's not the fault of the refugee who got an opportunity to work. It's the fault of the employer willing to pay them and not you. So fucking have a problem with them.
Yeah. And they love this. Like like Brexit's been a fucking wet dream for businesses, because like the state of the jobs market in the UK is abysmal. There's hardly any jobs out
for corporations, by the way, not for small businesses. But for
no. Hang on. Small businesses are taking bigger advantages than corporations, mate. That's what I was trying to get to. So, and the Turks are the worst for this one, and because what you're having is you're getting illegals that are coming over here. Obviously they just want a better life for themselves and their family and all of that. And the amount of like Turks that will just hire illegal employees because there's no rights. They can make them work long fucking hours, pay them peanuts. They don't say shit. I had it with the businesses around the corner from me. They got reported, not by me, but they got reported because they were doing the same thing. And it's just a bad problem. So with Bulgarians as well, they're getting it because they came here and they get no benefits. They had them cut because a big chunk of them were doing massive benefits fraud. So the Tories were like, right, well, fuck all Bulgarians, you get nothing kind of thing. And so they've ended up working in like these really like shitty jobs. And the women are at the mercy of the bosses. So there's a lot of high cases of like sexual assaults and all this kind of stuff. And yeah, so believe me, Zam, it's the smaller businesses that are actually taking more advantage of this situation. And what happened happening in Belfast doesn't surprise me. It's always been like that over there. When you've got loyalists versus the unionists and all this kind of shit, there's always been like Catholics, Protestants, and now the foreigners are in there as well. So everyone's just like, oh, it's a fucking field day. So yeah. But it is. Get angry. Get angry at the employer. Don't get angry at the immigrant. Get angry at the government, and get angry because Brexit caused all of this. Before Brexit, we had a steady stream. After Brexit, we had spikes because we were out of the European Union and we're not controlling our borders. So,
there's some comments here from Daniel Vance.
the violence against the state one.
Violence against the state is acceptable when the state is violent against you. Was the crux of the Waco trials here in the 90s. They found that the Davidians, they say it? Davidians, sorry, innocent, and the judge still gave them decades.
Yep.
Oh,
and that
okay.
directly led to Timothy McVeigh and the bomb.
I know about that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
But then again, once again, but these things are happening in small increments again. You know, we've got the shooting of obviously of Charlie Kirk, and prior to that we had by the way a few other CEOs getting killed, but the news purposely didn't make news of that because they didn't want a repeat of Luigi. You know, this shit is happening again. You know, it is repeating because people are at their wits' end now. Like you got the haves and the have-nots. And the haves have everything, and they still want more. It's never enough.
Never enough.
They've got more than
You got on that note today in the Guardian, the boss of Barclays, who earns £10.5 million a year, saying that public sector pay is too high and it needs to be cut. Who the fuck are you? Who the fuck are you to tell the government about public sector pay? Like the cheek of it. Cut your pay. Do you know how many people you can employ just by halving your wages? Fucking prick. Ridiculous. And speaking of British politics, now that I'm here, Peter Mandelson, Miss Epstein's favorite friend, second favorite friend after Trump, I might add, has been sacked from the Labour Party after the overwhelming pressure from the media after it was revealed that Mandelson, even though, by the way, it's been known for decades about Mandelson and Epstein, but only now because of the whole Trump thing, there's more heightened tension around the Epstein thing, because when people called it out when he was hired to be the US ambassador, crickets from the media. But now, convenient to them, they're hyping it up, and so Mandelson's had to go. But the beauty of this is now they're pressuring Starmer to be like, oh, how much of this did you know? And all this kind of shit. And basically the way that the media is concocting it is it looks like it's gonna take down Starmer. And on that same note, after what happened to Angela Rayner for her tax dodging, they're now pressuring Nigel Farage because he's done the exact same thing. And because they don't want to be shown to be biased, because the BBC is overwhelmingly biased towards Farage, the media is now pressuring Farage to release his tax returns and all this kind of shit. And he's flustered and he's getting angry. And this could be the thing that might help bring Farage down as well. And on that note, you've got Zach Polanski, the new leader of the Green Party, who I voted in, is soaring in popularity. Membership for the Greens is going up. It's gone up 7,000 since his election. And obviously your party are still kind of getting things together, a bit of infighting here and there. They're dicking about. But in the meantime, the Greens can capitalize on that. So the political landscape in the UK is absolute flustercluck. It is crazy what's going on here. And nobody knows which way it's going to go. But all I can say is keep your eye on Zach Polanski, man. That guy is killing it. Killing it.
Yeah, I saw him and I personally thought, okay, look, why are they giving this guy a photograph that makes him look like the angle of the photograph made him look like a terrible person? And that's because obviously they don't want this guy to be too popular. But yeah, I'm very happy about it, and let's just hope, because I just
gonna open my window.
In this negative world we're living in, I can't help but feel that the Reform are going to end up being our new fucking political leaders at some point, because Labour doing everything.
Incompetence helps bring them down, and the fact that more and more Tories are joining them, which a lot of Reform voters are not happy about that. So I'm hoping, but I'm with you on that. I agree with you 100%.
And it doesn't matter. Look, what I've learned, it doesn't matter, how fucking incompetent, how incompetent certain groups are, look, there's a whole bunch of dickheads who gave us fucking Brexit. They still won't own up to how they fucked up this country. Yeah, and if they fucking vote reform, yeah, they still won't blame. I mean, look, they blamed everybody else, and by the way, Conservative is pretty much reform semi-light, and all the dickheads they got in their party. They fucking ruined this country whilst being in power for over 15 years. And, and it seems like reform and Conservative voters are wanting more of the same, but even worse.
Well, look at it this way. Look, what I said before in other videos, especially on TikTok. If you want to follow me on TikTok, I'm Obelix Le Manchild. You can also follow us on TikTok, NoTube. But what I've said on TikTok as well, I said it before. I said reform will probably get in at the next election, but they're going to be so bad that the government after that is going to be left wing, because you can't have Tories and Labour and then reform and all be so fucking bad to go back to the Tories or Labour. And
no, but that's what's gonna happen though. They always switch places, dude. And like the fucking and the media will never give any left wing party an inkling of a chance to be popular. They will fucking trash the shit out of them until the cows come home every time.
But the demographic over the next decade is going to be changing, and young people now can vote. 16-year-olds can vote, and that's going to play a huge part in the next election.
Let's hope they fucking do vote.
Look, when Corbyn was in charge, he got a record number, the most young people ever to come out and vote. This is why the right are triggered when Starmer's done the one good thing by giving young people the vote. Of course, he's really thick because he thinks they're going to vote for him, or he's so thick because he believes that Gen Z are mostly right wing when they're actually fucking not. The polls are wrong on that he thinks this is going to help the right, but it's not. And once your party is up and running and killing it like Zach Polanski is killing it, then of course they're going to see, oh, hang on a second. You mean I can get free university, I can get a house, and I don't have to pay through the nose for my utility bills? I'll fucking take that. Thank you very much. So it's going to take a decade, but it will get there.
Yeah, let's hope I got enough fucking money in the bank to fucking last that decade. Everything is becoming so fucking. The other day, I want to get onto Trump in a second, but the other day, I like to go for little walks now and again just to keep myself, active and fit and whatever. Even though I have a terrible diet, but I was walking through a subway or underpass, they might call it in America. I don't know what the fuck they call it in the States. And I saw these little homes. They were built, made out of pallets and shit. It had a padlock on it and everything. It was a little fucking... There was two of them side by side. Fucking little houses built in the subway. You know what I mean? It was basically like a giant box. Nothing more. But that's what it's come to. I mean, the person who built this home might have some sort of crafting skill, which is why they built this home, because not every homeless person's got the ability to do that. But nevertheless, wow, I couldn't believe it. I do worry for the people who live in this home that a bunch of yobs are going to walk through that stuff and smash it up. You know what I mean? For shits and giggles. The other day, when I was going for a walk, I did the Samaritan thing. Whilst I was walking, I noticed the bin was on the ground, just flat, fallen. I picked it up and put it back into place. Walked along, there was another bin on the ground. Picked it up, put it back, and then there's some rubbish on the floor. I picked the rubbish up and put it in the bin as well. This is my fucking area. I can't believe it. I'm being a proper old man here. And I'm picking up bins. That these jobs were probably throwing on the floor for a laugh. And I'm putting the rubbish back as well that's been spilt out of it. The
thing is that that's the other thing I always bang on about as well, is collective responsibility. And if people did that, the council could not justify some of the shit that it tries to impose or do. I always say, on our roads, me and my mum, we keep our patch clean outside of our property. You know what I mean? So we we cut the weeds because they don't have people that come and de-weed anymore. So we cut the weeds, sweep out any rubbish and all this kind of shit. But there is a guy in my area. I won't video him. I won't take a picture of him because, you know, he has issues. But he's very OCD. And he goes around my road and 2 of the roads opposite and 3 roads down, cleaning the streets top to bottom, collecting rubbish every day. Because the guy has like OCD. You can tell the stress going through him when I speak to him and all this kind of shit. But like you said, like if people just did their collective responsibility, instead of vandalizing shit, breaking shops, putting racist slurs everywhere, putting up flags that don't really do anything, the world will be a lot better place. It's just simple community things like that that will make life so much better. So keep doing that. It's great. You know what I mean? Those little things, they make a massive difference.
Yeah, it's my fucking area. I'm very lucky to be living in my fucking area, and I will try to maintain it the best way I can. But anyway, let's go on to the greatest president ever, United States. You know,
where's Cheeto to do his impression?
Yeah, exactly.
The best.
Now I like a good stroke, like any other dude. Yeah, you know, but sometimes not every stroke you get is a good one. And just after the news regarding Charlie Kirk, and by the way, my conspiracy, and it's a juicy one, is that Donald Trump got Charlie Kirk, allegedly, Donald Trump got Charlie Kirk assassinated so he can put people's... so he would stop playing defense and people would stop going on about the Epstein file because he was so heavily incriminated regarding the birthday thing, and all of that with his signature and everything. And now he can go on the offense and start blaming the left, liberals, the progressives, whatever, and attack them for what he believed was Charlie Kirk's death. And it was all done by Donald Trump, who got one of his loyalists in this dude to do the deed. You know, and yeah, so basically what I'm saying, allegedly Donald Trump killed Charlie Kirk, but he was the first person to talk about. He mentioned Charlie Kirk had been killed, and he was the one happy to put the flag at half mast and stuff like that. Maybe a little bit of guilt he was feeling for having to get rid of one of his own. No, not guilt, but basically he's obviously doing all of this stuff.
He was playing it to like you know when you like you are the guilty pleasure, and somebody says you're the guilty one, somebody says, oh my god, so-and-so's been killed, and you're like
yeah,
overacted Spanish soap opera moment, that kind of thing.
Yeah, he's like the guy who farts in the elevator and says, can you smell that or whatever.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Yeah, so
no, I think it was just like, again, one of these dumb idiots that is a big Nick Fuentes fan, that you don't need much to motivate these idiots to do the deeds that you want, because Nick Fuentes and Charlie Kirk fucking hate each other, especially Nick Fuentes.
The different sides of the same coin. But look, I don't want to go on about it. We've already spoken about that. I want to go on about the stroke, baby. The stroke that will hopefully end this fucking regime, you know, at some particular point. Have I got it right here? I've got 2. Oh, we go. There's some beautiful pictures here of Donald Trump.
I keep dropping everything. Sorry, just bear with me. I'm still here. Oh,
some glory.
Oh, you know what it is, man? You know what it is? Out of respect for Charlie Kirk, Trump is flying his face at half mast. I can't take credit for that joke. So I saw that joke and I absolutely fucking
But not just that, but look at this. I'm not sure. Can you see that image? I've extended it.
Yeah, you can see that. Yep,
okay.
Yep.
I mean, not only I saw this whole clip, and hold on, let me see if we can get the clip as well, because no, that's not. Here we go.
Oh, there.
Leonard E. Taylor.
He looks. Not only is his face all stroked out, he looks like a really old man now.
Sandra
like, you know.
C. Taylor. Sandra D.
Yeah.
I need like when oops. With him sitting next to look like here, like sitting next to his wife,
Hilda E. Taylor.
it looks like some young daughters with
Lieutenant
with a
Colonel
father.
Kip
You know what I mean?
P. Taylor.
Yeah.
United
Which
States
is how Trump
Army.
likes it, by the way.
Of course.
He likes
13-year-olds. Look how his face
Leonard
progressively
E.
droops.
Taylor.
his whole body is like sagging to the right, you know,
Yeah.
his neck and everything.
Sandra C. Taylor.
And then somebody, let's see if I can find this as well. One sec.
Sandra D. T.
I'm gonna quickly look for this. Donald Trump, he did some sort of signature. Trump signing. Let's see. Where is it? It was today as well, latest.
Oh, really?
No, not today. Sorry, it was yesterday, September the 11th.
Right.
Somebody a close up. Come on, Twitter, you're so good at having all this shit. He basically during he was signing an American flag, and they did a close up of his hand, and you can see the patch over his right hand covering that bruising.
Oh,
And,
that. Oh, okay.
But it was
I
really
thought
you
more
could
like
really
struggling.
prominent. I can't find it, but yeah, like he was signing, and you can see that they zoomed in on the right hand, and you can see like the skin tone thing. I mean, the guy can never get skin tone right. His fucking face is orange. You know what I mean?
Terrible.
And his hands are fucking pink.
Do you remember the film Death Becomes Her?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, it's
Bruce
like
Willis.
that kind of makeup. Like they're fucking pale underneath, but they've patched up with weird bronzer.
I mean, I don't know how long. Like seriously, like you know, he must be coming to an end. He must be like, you know, I know he's got the best healthcare money he can buy. Well, he's the president of the United States. I get it. Yeah, but no one lives forever.
He'll be done by next year. He'll be dead by next year. He'll definitely be dead by next year.
Will he be the first president to die of natural causes whilst being president?
No. I think somebody died after 30 days. I don't know if it was natural causes or what, but it was like early on one of the presidents. He won't be the first, I don't think.
I mean, I'm not including ones that have been assassinated, like Lincoln.
No. Not talking about ones that have been assassinated. No.
Yeah.
Hang on.
Yeah. They're gonna weekend to Bernie's him. Yeah, I think if he does the
same thing they did with Pelosi and Feinstein. Oh, that's it. William Henry Harrison died after 32 days. He was the first president to die in office, was the first president to die within this first month, the short tenure. What did he die of?
William Henry Harrison. So 30 days. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, 32 days. I knew that. I learned that from The Simpsons. I'm William Henry Harrison. I died in 30 days. That's how I learned that one. I learned most of my US history from The Simpsons.
I learned when I worked for this Mormon company. The first week I worked for them, I couldn't believe my luck that an episode of South Park happened and it was about Mormons.
Oh yeah.
It was the dum that episode. Yeah,
I know the one. Yeah,
I couldn't believe it because that was like what I really needed, right there and then. Because I had no idea about anything about. I know a lot about Mormons now, but back then I had a fucking clue. I had no idea they even existed. Like this religious group. It was a whole new thing for me. And then I'm working for Mormons. What the fuck are Mormons? you know. And then I learned about Joseph Smith, and because like so I was talking to some of the staff, getting to know them, and they told me, yeah, like these guys are Mormons. Before, you know, at one point when I was working here, they had no coffee in the staff canteen. And I thought, what? Why is that? I go, because they're Mormons. And I go, so what does that mean? Well, they're not. And they told me a little bit about it. I was totally perplexed. And it just so happened that fucking South Park and that episode came with like, okay, I understand now. I did some more research and stuff like that.
Fucking stupid, like cult religion, ridiculous.
Refused to wear a coat. Well, talking about religion, refused to wear a coat at his inauguration. Who did? William Henry Harrison. Okay, fair enough. But talking about stupid religions, when Donald Trump dies, he will become a religion. He will be Joseph Smith 2.0. They will make a Trump religion out of this motherfucker. There'll be people praying to him because right now people do worship him, and always worshiping a politician is the most stupidest thing you can ever do. If you're a type of person that put a fucking tattoo of a politician on your body, you're a fucking idiot. You know, if your whole fucking personality is based around Donald Trump, whether you make restaurants called Trump Burger and you wonder why you'd be deported and get deported, and you wonder why, because you know why? Because you're fucking making money of Donald Trump's fucking name and effigy and all of that shit, and he's not getting any penny of it. So yeah, you are going to get fucking deported. You know, I mean, that guy wants his fucking piece. He's a fucking mafia boss. You fucking pay your fucking dues. But regardless of all of this shit, you know, you do stuff like that.
I don't know, Zan. Do you really think that they're gonna make a religion out of Trump after he dies? Oh wait, maybe they could, because we've seen stupid shit like this. All because of words. Look, you got Kennedy, Lincoln, fucking Charlie Kirk, and Jesus next to it.
Yeah, exactly. It's crazy to see Charlie Kirk there. My God,
ridiculous.
You know what I mean? You might as well just fucking put Hulk Hogan in there as well. I mean, I know he didn't get assassinated, but
Hulk Hogan was a god, the golden god.
You should have put fucking Malcolm X in there. You know, so
yeah,
highly recommended the Book of Mormon. I need to see that stuff.
I've seen the musical. It's awesome. Yeah, it's really good. I thought I would catch Trey Parker in it, but he's not in it. So,
he actually, Trey Parker actually liked one of my things on Facebook, because you remember that episode where people were giving him stuff and the thing that and his penis isn't small. Here you go, Donald Trump. Hey, have this. Your penis isn't small. Your penis is massive. And one of the people was Tim Cook. But for me, the way they designed Tim Cook, I said that Tim, and I wrote this on Facebook on the South Park page, that Tim Cook looks more like Anderson Cooper, and Trey Parker liked my comment.
Nice.
Yeah, so that was
what
pretty
are you
cool.
gonna do with all this fame now? You're gonna get bitches and money.
Yeah, I've had a lot of fame in my car, so yeah. Hi, lady, you're still celebrating people's deaths. Well, when are you gonna die?
Yeah, we'll have a parade. Oh, you'll have a meltdown when Trump dies, when we all have a parade. You're gonna have a fucking meltdown. You're gonna be I can't believe the left are doing this. As a person that's a centrist,
oh no, my favorite pedophile rapist who paints himself orange is dead. How dare you celebrate his
Rick,
death?
how do you feel that one of your own killed Mr. Charlie Kirk? By the way, you know, the so-called violent left that wasn't the left. But speaking of idiots, did you see about the Hyundai factory that got raided by ICE?
Yep, in Korea, but all the Koreans, well done. But
all the Koreans,
all these incompetents. Because Stephen Miller is pretty much running the fucking country, you know. So,
but that's gonna backfire huge, because the Koreans are now just like, do we really want to spunk away 20 billion investment to build the batteries there? Okay, and after that raid, they're just like, maybe not. And Trump was really pissed off about that. He was really fucking pissed off about that. And you've always been center right or right wing, Rick. Don't unmoor
It's not just that, but it's all manners of things. Like, you know, like Qatar gives him a fucking airplane, and they're hoping that, you know, he does their bidding. And what does Netanyahu do? He fucking bombs the fuck out of them. You know, like
with British spy plane that flew over Qatar, and the base. You know, don't forget the US has bases in Qatar as well. So it was a US missile that did that.
Fucking the Israelis have killed fucking US journalists, man. They don't give a fuck. And Americans don't give a fuck either, because whatever Israel wants is unconditional. You know, which is why Israel feels feels the way they do, because they can do what the fuck they want, and they say, give it to us. You can't say no. And America could say no, but they don't say no. I haven't looked into his ideology and political views yet.
Are you kidding me? They would love Israel to expand and take all those territories. They would love it. Now, like, after the bombings in Syria, a whole load of like Israelis rushed the border and started planting flags down to claim the land, and then they had to run back because they were getting shot at. It's like these people just fucking, they're animals. They're like rabid little fucking dogs just trying to take all the treats, like everything. And they're doing the same shit in Cyprus. They're buying up like loads of property there, and the Cypriots are worried because, they're going to be like, well, what are you going to do? Buy the land, then claim that it's your bloody island. So they're trying to get the government to ban the Israelis. Of course, the government are in cahoots with the British and the Israelis and all this kind of shit. But in Greece, they've got a mob that's forming now to go after Israelis after Israeli tourists started harassing and attacking the locals. They're like, no, we've got to remind you, know your fucking place. Because Israelis have become, in the last decade alone, my God, that they are insufferable. They swagger around like they own every fucking country that they're in. And people clapping back at them. Countries are now banning them from entering as well. They're banning them from owning property. There's about 5 countries now that are going to boycott Eurovision if Israel join. Israel make it through and all this kind of shit. So they need to be treated like, like Nazis, just not be accepted anywhere. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, I agree. And regarding celebrating people's deaths, the right wing and the left wing and every other wing, when when Osama bin Laden was killed, that was a point of celebration. I guess when Adolf Hitler was killed, that was a point of celebration. And
right wingers would be like, how can you celebrate Trump's death? And I was like, well, hang on, he was just as bad as these lot. He's a terrorist.
He's a nonce. He's a nonce.
Biden's death should be celebrated as well. Obama's death should be. Every American president that dies should be celebrated, because they're all just evil shitbags. Like Biden, allowed the genocide to happen. He didn't stop it. Yeah, I mean, and he's always been a massive piece of shit. Biden is a massive piece of shit. People need to understand that. So for the right to, cry about Trump, obviously Biden's influence on US politics now no longer supersedes Trump, whereas it did before, because his whole career was basically being a Republican appeaser and helping push
Democrats generally, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, but he was the worst of them. He was the one that helped push the crime bill through. He helped orchestrate it and push it through. He helped put the reason why you can't default on your student loans is because of Biden. So Biden was a cunt, and his death should be celebrated. And when the right wingers celebrate his death, I'll be right there with them.
His infrastructure bill will help red states, not blue states. His infrastructure bill, and Donald Trump is now taking advantage of that. But regardless, he pushed that through, and now the infrastructure happening around America because of that bill. And you know who's putting their name on it? Donald fucking Trump, who opposed it in the first. Opposed it, because the Democrats they are so fucking stupid, man. They are a level of stupid. No, but they're stupid as well. Like you can be weak, but then eventually you're just being you're being stupid. And when you got people in their party running the show right now, not speaking up against anything, I mean, Zohran Mamdani is running for New York mayor.
With
and
all due
top tier,
respect,
yeah.
With all due respect, they're not stupid, and that's and this.
I know what you're trying to get at.
Yeah, the mistake people always make is they always think, oh, these centrists and these right, let's just call them centrists for now. They're so stupid and they don't know what to do. If there's a left-wing threat, they know how to fucking crush that and get them out of the way and effectively get rid of them. We've seen it with what happened with Starmer's Labour. The Democrats are the same at that. If they did half of what they did to the left, to the right, then America wouldn't be where it is now.
No, I'm just saying they're stupid right now because when you let Donald Trump win 2 elections, you're stupid. You're not. The fact that that happened, and the only reason why Biden won was Biden wasn't going to fucking beat Donald Trump. Is COVID, and for all the religious people out there, God sent a message of a fucking of a plague that was killing millions of fucking people, and you still voted that motherfucker back into office. After you had the opportunity to get rid of him, you fucking idiots.
But again, we're still on the basis that people believe that the election wasn't stolen, and I guarantee you, Trump's election back into office was a lot to do with Elon Musk and a lot of tampering, because Trump has let it slip a few times, and there was a lot of irregular voting and all this. But again, the Democrats are so fucking useless going after Trump and so weak and going after Trump,
and that's stupid as well.
They're not calling it out. I can't call them stupid. I can call them weak and useless.
I call them weak, useless, incompetent, stupid, because there are a whole bunch of fucking old schoolers who go by a particular playbook and rule book where they have to succumb to the Republicans all the fucking time. And there's a whole group of people who want to fucking play a different game, And whilst you got Schumer and Jeffries and Cory Booker, who are all cunts in charge of the Democratic Party, they're going to make it really difficult for this next generation to fucking really take it over. Because at the end of the day, they don't really give a fuck about the people. They just want to collect that APAC money.
Yeah, they just they don't even care. At the moment, they're going to be as useless as they want to be because it benefits their donors. This whole situation benefits their donors. So Democrats sitting back and doing nothing and being the way they are is exactly what their donors want. They don't want effective opposition. If they had effective opposition, then they wouldn't make record profits. So, this is just... It's the same with Keir Starmer being a useful puppet for the billionaire class and pulling his candidate out of Clacton so that Farage could win. It's for the benefit of the billionaire class. Because if Farage hadn't have won, then Trump wouldn't have to keep pushing right with his Starmer wouldn't have to keep pushing right with his rhetoric. He could have just been a benign, useless, evil fuckwit without trying to pander to reform. But we are where we are. No point going after Trump with the current Supreme Court. They made him basically untouchable. Of course, there is no justice. The courts, even here in the UK, they're the same thing.
Well, that Grim Reaper better fucking move his ass, if that's all I
mean.
So, let's wrap things up by going on to wrestling and sport.
Wrestling. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. So, WrestleMania is going to Saudi Arabia.
In 2 years' time.
Who's surprised by that? Nobody.
I am. I knew that. I thought we were going to get 43.
No. Fair enough. I don't want to be condescending. I get what you mean.
I'm not surprised that Saudi Arabia has got a WrestleMania. I'm just saying that I thought 43. I thought 43 was us because they've already got the Royal Rumble, which is massive.
Mm-hmm.
Royal Rumble is the precursor to WrestleMania. They are connected. They are what one leads to the other. So to get that was huge, absolutely huge. Excuse me. So to get WrestleMania as well, I'm shocked. I thought that should have been ours.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to come to the Britain anytime soon because Britain's not going to fucking fork over 100 million, which is what the Saudis have paid to get WrestleMania over, which is ridiculous. And TKO, they're always going to go with the money. They don't care about their customers. They don't care.
No, but London. But sorry, I'm just saying that regarding like you have it in the massive, you have it at Wembley Stadium, yeah, and you're gonna get people from all over Europe will ascend to London because it's easy to get to for Europeans,
Yeah,
it would make a fuck ton of money, regardless of the 100 million. Whether they
well, this is it. It will generate a lot of money. Like with Saudi Arabia, how much money is it going to generate outside of wrestling? Because the thing with wrestling is when you bring it into your area, it generates a lot of money outside of it, even for WWE and all this kind of stuff. But with Saudi Arabia, they get 100 million up front. And then I don't know about fan conventions and all this kind of stuff after it, because it's not like independent wrestlers can and companies can go out there and do their thing and kind of help the ecosystem. So I mean, I don't like it. Like it's fucking stupid. But the WWE is just a bunch of soulless garbage now, anyway. And I was not surprised that it's ended up at Saudi Arabia. I didn't think it would be like 43. I thought it'd be like 45 onwards. They'd start expanding internationally. So I was surprised it was this quick, but I'm not surprised Saudi Arabia got it first, and it shouldn't. On the pure point of for the fans, it should have been the UK or Canada, like first, and then the Saudis. But they go where the money goes, and it's half of that fee's probably going to be for The Rock to make an appearance. But that means he's going to lose all the weight that he's lost now to do a role, which is basically a 70-year-old man that's something, I don't know, whatever. It's a weird role he's playing. He's lost all that weight. He's still got more weight to lose. And he's going to put it all back on again for WrestleMania 43. Like, how does that work? That's crazy.
Yeah, and he shouldn't be doing shit like that at his age.
No, he's got a lot of strain on his heart.
Yeah, it's not good because he fucking jacked the shit up. I thought he jacked up for Blackadder, but my God, the way he looked for the Smashing Machine was like Jesus Christ. He looks like he's gonna explode. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
he really like pumped up for that from the Peter Porch of the White House. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Welcome to Legends Mania. Welcome, Jose.
Hey, Jose.
Just saying, yep, you guys were right. Somebody predicted on my TikTok about Mania being in Saudi Arabia, so I've already told the guy I want the fucking lottery numbers. Now you got that right. Whenever people get a prediction right, I always go to that. That's my go-to line. Give me the fucking lottery numbers.
Give me the fucking lottery numbers. Yeah, absolutely.
So look. Either way, you know what? I'm not. It's not a big deal, to tell you the truth, because they're in Saudi Arabia all the fucking time now. It was inevitable. We'll see how many women matches they fucking have, and shit like that, and we'll see what sort of storylines they're able to pull off and all of that. I mean, they're gonna. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
Well, they give John Cena a fat payday to come back for WrestleMania 43. Rather than him going out at main event instead, or whatever it's called.
Well, he's going out. He said he's only going to wrestle this year, and then next year, like I said, next year's WrestleMania is in Vegas. It'll be the year after that.
Yeah.
So it's 2 years. It's 2 years away.
2 years. But will John Cena come back for that? Get that fat little paycheck?
I'm hoping that they don't need to do that. Like, and by the way, he's like, does he really need a fat paycheck?
Really, he's got fucking crazy money. He's almost got Dwayne Johnson money. You know what I mean?
The guy's got millions. And he's always in the movies now. He's always making films. I have to say, a lot of his films are quite shit. He's not a bad actor.
Yeah.
Like Heads of State. I did a review for that. The only thing that elevates the film is the fact that it's got Idris Elba and John Cena as the leads. when Idris Elba playing the Prime Minister and John Cena playing the President of the United States on the run through Eastern Europe.
Yeah.
But even that itself is fucking stupid, But regardless, John Cena. Honestly, I know you don't like the Peacemaker, but he's so good in it, man. He as an actor is so good that he shows his range in that. Whilst he's doing stuff like Rookie Stinicky and shit. Oh God.
Oh,
so
Jesus
bad.
Christ. But that's what annoys me. Like they tried to put them in comedy roles or like action jacked up roles. It's like, no, these guys, like you see them on a fucking hot mic in the middle of a ring, pouring out a lot of emotion, and then when you give them that opportunity, you see that they could do it in a film. Like, my God, like the Smashing Machine looks amazing, and I'm somebody who I can't fucking stand The Rock anymore. Like, but I'm gonna watch that because I love the Safdie brothers. They're phenomenally talented, even though one of them is definitely going to get Weinstein's. He just looks the type that's going to have a lot of like shit come out about him. But regardless of that, for the time being, they seem clean. They're extremely talented, and they're the ones doing the Smashing Machine because Benny Safdie, he's like wrestling and UFC obsessed, and I knew The Rock was right when they cast him. I was like, yes. They need to. Batista is the one out of all of them that's done the more serious roles, and look how good he is in that.
The funny thing is, Batista would have been ideal for the Smashing Machine. I mean, in my personal opinion, but for me, like this is kind of like almost like it's like okay, The Rock is doing a really good acting performance, but he's still in his wheelhouse of playing like a mammoth motherfucker. You know what I mean? But at least this time he's having to act. Give him that. You know what I mean?
But his next role, he's not going to be a mammoth motherfucker. He might be tall, but he's playing a 70-year-old man, and he's losing a lot of weight. He's lost 35 kilos so far, 70 pounds so far, which is like, what's that, 3 stone? Hang on, 7, 15, 30, about 4 stone he's lost so far. And he's still going to lose even more weight to play a 70-year-old man. That is going to be interesting to see. But I think Dwayne is a great actor. Him and John Cena are really good actors, but they need serious directors and serious producers, not just keep shoving them in these stupid action films or stupid comedies that are just fucking ridiculous.
Well, it'll be interesting to see is John Cena the type of guy to maybe change his physicality for a role. I know Batista has, but he's leaned himself here and there for a role. He's still like jacked.
No, Batista slimmed. Have you seen Batista lately?
Yeah, I've seen him lately, but he's still got muscle. But he's just slimmed down.
Really like slimmed down.
Yeah.
No, he's not like Batista now. He's like Petitsta. Because he wants to do more kind of serious acting roles. And I'm like, you see, that's the problem with Hollywood. Hollywood always thinks that, muscle-bound freaks can only be in certain roles doing certain things. It's just not the case. It's just not the case. Like, if you look at real life, how many nerds now that do, like, similar shit to us, but are, like, jacked up freaks, gym freaks as well. So it's just like, you can't just keep boxing them into one thing. And there's a lot of pain and suffering in Cena's life, and not Cena's life, in Batista's life. You know what I mean? He's been through a lot of shit. And, you could do a really good biography of his alone. But I'm saying, like, because always get overlooked at how good they can act.
Jose thinks that he'll wrestle at 43. Fair enough. I wouldn't be.
Yeah, I reckon
I wouldn't be surprised when Shawn Michaels came out of retirement for one match. It's possible. But retirement doesn't exist. Usually, retirement when you retire it's because you physically can't do it anymore, like the injuries and stuff like that. Yeah, that's why like Triple H is not doing it. With he's like one spear away from fucking having a stroke. You know what I mean?
He'll have a fucking heart attack, so he has to be.
Yeah,
he's got a pacemaker on him now under his chest.
He can't do anything. He can't even take a bump. You know what I mean? So Slim Batista, I'm sure he'll be like these guys are ingrained in the culture. I mean, look at Undertaker. He's not wrestling anymore but he's still doing podcasts. He's doing fucking the sort of like training shows and stuff like that. Makes the odd little appearance just to give somebody a mini push or whatever backstage, and they're playing these sort of like authority figure roles, like Godfather-y type characters, and Cena will be that's for sure. And he'll be there to maybe take a bump or whatever. He can still take a bump, so I can see that
I
happening.
can't wait. Yeah, I really can't wait for him to retire. Like as much as I like John Cena as an actor, never liked him as a wrestler. I could never get behind him in anything except for his rivalry with CM Punk. Other than that, he's just so fucking corny. He's corny. Like, he's been the worst face of a company for me that I've ever had to endure. And I'll be happy when he's fucking gone. Like,
For me,
honestly.
he's no different to The Rock right now. Like, yeah, these guys are coming back, but they're wrestling at a stage in their life where they've definitely lost a step. Regardless, he's not as quick and he's a bit more telegraphed because he is a bit older and he's not wrestling as much as
that's why I don't like people going back, bringing back old wrestlers to do it again. It's just like,
but they need to be in tag. They need to be in tag matches, like The Rock. He looked fucking great because he was in the tag match with Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, and Seth Rollins. When you got those three around you, you're gonna look $1 million fucking dollars. Yeah. And it helped having those three around him. But when Cena fought when Cena fought Cody Rhodes or whoever he fights, he's on his own, and it's just them two. There's nobody to pass the baton to like a tag match, and they get exposed. That's why if The Rock had another match, it has to be a tag match or a fatal four-way or something like that. Something where he's not 50% of the fucking focus,
Yeah.
So Nostalgia Mania is gonna run mild, brother. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
cool.
Yeah, and by the way, I just want to quickly mention the football.
Sure.
Did you see this? Yeah. Did you see England play Serbia? By the way,
I did not. No.
Do you know what the score was?
Yeah, 5-0. Yeah.
Yeah, which was, and the Arsenal players did really well, by the way. Madueke, who's somebody who I didn't really want at the club because it's another Chelsea reject. He's looking phenomenal. I mean, he really is, and I hope he makes me eat my words. Finally, we get an ex-Chelsea player who's fucking good for us. That'd be amazing.
Yeah, it'd be great.
He's also young as well compared to all the others. That all the others were getting a fucking retirement age. I mean, at least he's fucking young. Yeah, and Norway played Moldova, by the way. So the highlights are on YouTube. Do you know what their score was?
Yeah, 11-1.
11-1. And fucking Erling Haaland scored 5 goals. He could have actually got a double hat trick, but he actually laid off his mate instead, which was a nice touch. I mean, you score 5 for your country. I mean, your tally's gonna look fucking great. And in our boy Odegaard scored 1 as well. So I'm happy for that. But yeah, the international break's over. We're playing
Nottingham Forest.
Who got rid of fucking Nuno Espirito
Santo for Ange Postecoglou. Stupid. That's stupid.
No, but that fucking owner, that fucking Greek Suge Knight, as Expressions calls him. I mean, like this guy, man, like he's getting a bit too big for his boots, and I really hope he doesn't. In a way, I do hope he tries to do his shit that he does in Greece here in the Premier League, because I'm hoping the Premier League will fucking tell him to do one. I'm hoping that's the case. Remember, he's fucking Nottingham Forest manager.
Marinakis is a gangster. He's a literal fucking mafia man. You know what I mean? And he ruined Greek football. But on the side note with Greek football, like there's been a major investment in the youth academies finally in Greece, because we were getting in too many like old has-been foreigners coming in, and then Greece was like, no, this is too fucking expensive. So it's cheaper to just invest in the youth academies, because and the annual cost of a youth academy was someone like Denver Bar's fucking wages. You know what I mean? For like 1 year. So it's just ridiculous. So now Greece has got this incredible youth squad, but we still fucking lost 3-0 to Denmark. Bloody idiots. But yeah, keep an eye out. Like a lot of Greek players, man, they're going to be on the up and up. I think it's going to be like the Croatia of like the 90s. You know what I mean?
We support the same club, Jose. If you're wondering, we both support Arsenal. So, but by the way, regarding Greece, how are they going to qualify for the World Cup?
I fucking hope so. It didn't help that we lost to bloody Denmark, a team we should have beaten, and we lost at home as well. I hope we bloody qualify.
But did you see Spain versus Turkey?
No, I didn't see that.
6-0, and Mikel Merino scored a hat trick. Nice. Our boy Mikel. Yeah,
whoever stuck him in midfield is a fucking idiot. Because that guy's a striker. That guy's a forward.
Well, he was playing in midfield for Spain, but he was but Yamal fucking missed some sitters, but he was playing, but he just he scored 2 goals where he was luckily right place at the right time to kind of score them. But his third goal, it was a fucking nice, bend it like Beckham type goal, outside the box, curler, top bins, all of that shit. It was a beauty, and I'm just fucking hoping, that these players now who've done really well for their country, but a lot of Arsenal players did really well for their country. They do well for Arsenal.
Yeah, but they have to come back and play under Arteta's fucking tactics, which is bong it down the right and cross it in. Like, he's such a shit. He's shit, man. He started off with a lot of promise, and then because of Saka, our tactics just became down the right, cross it in. I'm sick and tired.
Well, Saka's injured now, so we'll see.
I know, but we still did the same thing with the other team.
I still think that he's ruined Martinelli because Martinelli is a striker, not a winger. Yeah. And he was a striker under Emery, and I want him to play down the middle again. But we'll see if that ever happens. I don't know. But anyway. Okay, I think we're kind of done now.
Yeah, all right. Yeah. Thank you to everyone for joining us. It was well, I wouldn't say short and sweet, the usual kind of 2 hours and all this kind of shit. Yeah, nice try, Bella. Fucking troll. And on that note, we'll see you again when we see you, but there's plenty of reviews and
tomorrow is Peacemaker.
There you go. Tomorrow is Peacemaker. So if you want to listen to a bunch of idiots ramble about a